I want to get you out the door with every result from every league in under 15 minutes, so that you're more informed about what's going on in the world of sports.
Hey TJ, what's going on? I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler Sports and this is the Sport Report.
And I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports. Welcome to a special edition of this all crazy sports newscast.
Broadcasting from somewhere in the United States.
Hit it, Blaze.
This is the Sport Report.
Thursday, April 4th, 2019. Hey everybody, I'm Chandler with Sports, and this is the Sport Report. It's time to get you caught up on what's happening in the world of sports. This is Top of the Order.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
This is Top of the Order.
Our top story for yesterday, Greg Popovich got ejected 63 seconds into the Spurs game against the Denver Nuggets last night. Most of you are probably wondering, why isn't the Phillies and Nationals game top of the order? Popovich getting ejected is one of the rarest sights in basketball, even though it's happened twice in the last 7 days. Now, we move on to the rest of the basketball slate.
Bird takes the shot. It's gone! Oh my goodness! I can't believe it! Jordan with 2 seconds to go puts it up and scores at the buzzer! Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago!
Around the NBA.
There was a 12-game slate in the NBA last night. Let's start in Detroit. The Indiana Pacers 108-89 winners over the Pistons. Domantas Sabonis had 15 points and 13 rebounds for the victorious Indiana Pacers. Andre Drummond was a rebound short of a 2020 game. 28 points and 19 rebounds for the big man for Detroit. The Orlando Magic defeated the New York Knicks 114-100. Emmanuel Mudiay had a double-double, 13 points and 10 assists for the Knicks, while Nikola Vucevic had 29 points and 13 rebounds for Orlando. The Chicago Bulls eked out a 1-point victory against the Washington Wizards, who had just fired their GM just a couple of days ago. 115-114, Chicago wins. Bobby Portis, playing against his former team, had 20 points and 10 rebounds. Thomas Bryant had 20 points and 12 rebounds, both players for the Wizards. The Atlanta Hawks took down the Philadelphia 76ers 130-122. Ben Simmons had 15 points and 15 rebounds for the Sixers, even though they lost by 8, and Trae Young had 33 points and 12 assists for the Hawks. The Toronto Raptors got the 115-105 win against the Brooklyn Nets. Pascal Siakam had 28 points and 10 rebounds for the Raptors. Serge Ibaka had 23 points and 12 rebounds for Toronto as well, both players posting a double-double. D'Angelo Russell had 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists for the Nets. The Boston Celtics beat the Miami Heat 112-102. It's Dwayne Wade's final game against the Boston Celtics. Gordon Hayward had 25 points and 8 rebounds off the bench for Boston, and Dwayne Wade had 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists for Miami. Kemba Walker continues to put up great numbers for the Charlotte Hornets, 32 points last night in the 115-109 win against the New Orleans Pelicans. For the Pelicans, power forward Julius Randle had 34 points and 11 rebounds. The Minnesota Timberwolves got the close 2-point victory against the Dallas Mavericks, 110-108. Karl Anthony Towns had 28 points and 13 rebounds for the Timberwolves. And Luka Doncic, back off a 2-game absence due to an injury, had 27 points, 12 rebounds, and finished 4 assists short of a triple-double. He had 6 assists. Like we said in Top of the Order, Greg Popovich, head coach of the San Antonio Spurs, was ejected in last night's game against the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets ended up winning 113-85. Nikola Jokic had another double-double, and so did Jamal Murray for the Nuggets. The Utah Jazz defeated the Phoenix Suns 118-97, 17 points and 13 rebounds for Rudy Gobert, the center for the Utah Jazz. And Devin Booker, in what proved to be his final game of the season, only had 8 points in less than 8 minutes on the court. We say it's Devin Booker's final game of the season because as we were preparing for tonight's podcast, news came across the wire that Devin Booker would be ruled out for the rest of the season with a left ankle injury. The Suns have 3 games remaining in their season. The Portland Trail Blazers are preparing for the playoffs. They got the 116-89 win against the Memphis Grizzlies. Enes Kanter had 21 points and 15 rebounds for Portland. Finally, in the last game of the night, the Houston Rockets got the 135-103 win against the LA Clippers. Clint Capella had 24 points and 15 rebounds for Houston. Harden added 31 for the Rockets as well. Montrezl Harrell had 13 points for the Clippers, and Lou Williams had 14 points for them off the bench. The NBA has 3 games on its slate later tonight. The Milwaukee Bucks are at the Philadelphia 76ers.
The Cleveland Cavaliers are at the Sacramento Kings.
And the Golden State Warriors head to the Staples Center for the LA Lakers. The standings have changed just a little bit in the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee's still the number 1 seed. Toronto is the 2 seed, 2.5 games behind them. Sixers in the 3 spot. Boston and the Pacers. The Celtics and the Pacers are tied for 4th at 47 and 32. Both teams play tomorrow night. They're 11.5 games back, but all of the top 5 positions in the Eastern Conference have clinched a playoff spot. Detroit, Brooklyn, and Orlando are 6, 7, 8, all within half a game of each other. The Miami Heat are now half a game behind the Orlando Magic as they sit in the 9th spot. The Charlotte Hornets also have an outside chance. They're 2.5 games out of the 8th spot with 4 games to play. Now to the ice.
Back in front door, shot scores! Bobby O from Sanderson!
Beto! Rebound chance in front. Taking his air, puck comes free, score! Score!
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Around the NHL.
The Ottawa Senators won against the New York Rangers 4-1 at the Madison Square Garden. Brady Tkachuk had his 22nd goal of the season en route to the Senators' win. The St. Louis Blues are fighting for positioning in the Western Conference for the playoffs, and their playoff campaign took a hit. Even though they're clinched for the playoffs, they still played old Western Conference rival Chicago Blackhawks at the United Center. The United Center was loud and packed on a Wednesday night as the Blackhawks got the 4-3 win in the shootout. Finally, the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, Calgary Flames, fell to the Anaheim Ducks, who were eliminated from playoff contention a while back. 3-1, the Ducks win. Brian Getzlaf put the Ducks up 3-1, and it would be the final goal of the night in this game and in the NHL. He scored his 14th goal of the season less than 5 minutes into the second period. For the first time in Sport Report history, we have an NHL correspondent on standby, nonetheless a correspondent. We go out to Sport Report NHL correspondent Jack Esper.
Thanks, Chandler. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jack Esper, and I am the official NHL correspondent for the Sport Report. The NHL is going down to the wire. Every team has 2 games remaining in the regular season, with the exception of the Flames and the Ducks, who have 1 game left. So far, the season has produced some adventures and moments. There have been 8-point performances, 3 goals and 3 assist games, 50 goal scorers on the season, and many other moments. More goals are flying in though, which is a good thing for the fans. Hopefully, that'll continue in the playoffs as the season will wind down. But the playoff picture is being revealed. In the Eastern Conference, 5 out of the 8 playoff spots have been clinched, while the other 3 are still up for grabs. The seeding will also be determined after the last 3 spots are claimed. In the Atlantic Division, the Lightning will be the number 1 seed in the East. The Boston Bruins and Toronto Maple Leafs will battle as they finish for 2nd and 3rd in the Atlantic. The Montreal Canadiens are 3 games behind the Leafs. In the Metro, the Caps and Islanders have clinched playoff positions, while Pittsburgh is almost certainly in. The wild card is where it gets tricky though, because after tonight, Carolina and Columbus will be fighting for 2 playoff spots, with one playing the Metro champ and the other facing off with the Lightning. No pun intended. In the Western Conference, 7 of the 8 playoff spots are locked up, with seeding to be determined. The Central Division has Winnipeg, Nashville, and St. Louis battling for the title, while the other 2 will have to face each other in the first round. The NHL might need to change this format, but news came in from New York today. The structure will stay for at least another season. The Pacific Division has Calgary with the number 1 seed in the West, while San Jose and Vegas will go head-to-head. Dallas has locked up a playoff spot, while Colorado still needs a point from their final 2 matches, or Arizona will drop a point in their final 2 games in order to succeed in the wild card. 3 weeks ago, Colorado did look dead in the water. Then Chandler lost his voice, and the podcast goes off the air for 2 weeks. And now, they're a point away from clinching. Oh man, what a story that would be. Anyway, recording to you from the Sport Report, I'm Jack Esper, and that is the recap from the NHL tonight. Take it away, Chandler with shorts.
Thanks, Jack. Transitioning to the diamond now.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone! And Carlton Fisk had a lot of little boy in him right there.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Touch 'em all, Joe. Home run! Mike Piazza!
Jeter backhands from the outfield grass. Got it! Man, what a play!
Now now from Major League Baseball.
The MLB had 14 games on the slate. In the early game, the Colorado Rockies finally beat the Tampa Bay Rays, this time 1-0 in 11 innings at the Trop. Atlanta Braves 6-4 winners against the Chicago Cubs. Milwaukee Brewers 1-0 over the Cincinnati Reds. Chicago White Sox 8-3 over the Indians. Minnesota Twins 7-6 against the Kansas City Royals. The Twins scored in the 9th. San Diego Padres 4-1 winners against the Diamondbacks. That game was scoreless through 4. Detroit Tigers 2-1 winners against the New York Yankees. Baltimore Orioles lost 5-3 to the Toronto Blue Jays. Threw a little bit of a change up there, eh? New York Mets 6-4 winners against the Miami Marlins. Jacob deGrom became the first pitcher in a few years to throw 14 strikeouts and also hit a home run. Man, these pitchers hitting home runs. First pitcher to do it since Madison Bumgarner in 2015. St. Louis Cardinals 5-4 winners in 10 innings against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Texas Rangers got another win in an all-Texas battle against the Houston Astros 4-0 for the Rangers. And the LA Dodgers defeated the San Francisco Giants 5-3. We missed 2 games though. The Boston Red Sox got a lucky bounce off of third base when Mookie Betts drove it down there in the 9th inning. 6-3, the Red Sox scored 3 in the 9th after Brock Holt made a wonderful play at the end of the 8th inning. They beat the Oakland Athletics at the Coliseum. Series finale tomorrow. And in what was arguably one of the best games of the day, David Robertson, yes, the former Yankee David Robertson, ended up walking 3 batters in a row, loaded the bases, and the Washington Nationals literally walked off because Robertson walked in a batter. 9-8, the Nationals win, and they split the series against the Phillies, handing them their first loss of 2019, and are now 1-1 against Bryce Harper this season in his return to Washington. The Final Four is upcoming on Saturday.
They won it! On the dunk!
Showtime! It's party time!
Send it in, Jerome! There's the pass to Leitner. Puts it up. Yes!
Gonzaga! The flipper still fits!
Valpo has won the game! A miracle! No good! By George, the dream is alive!
It is time for
NCAA men's basketball.
Like we said, the Final Four is on Saturday at 6:09 Eastern, 3:09 Pacific. The Virginia Cavaliers will take on the Auburn Tigers, and 30 minutes or so after the conclusion of that game, the Texas Tech Red Raiders will take on Tom Izzo's Michigan State Spartans. We'll have a full report on those 2 games on Sunday's episode. We'll have a preview of those 2 games on tomorrow's episode. That's the Sport Report for April 4th, 2019.
For now, I'm Chandler.
Thanks for tuning into the Sport Report today. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest in sports. Do you want to contact Chandler Sports or members of the Sport Report team? Visit sportreportcws.com.
This podcast is copyrighted by the Sport Report for viewers to understand sports from a news reporting basis. Any other use of this podcast, Sport Report logos, or anything associated with this podcast without the express written consent of Chandler Sports is strictly prohibited.